The island of St. Eustatius has 5 new island council members. MP for UP issues questions to the ministers of VSA, TEAT, and Finance. And Prime Minister of St. Martin says she is pushing for the Plastic Bag campaign to start. Those are the headlines for Thursday, October the 29th, 2020. Good evening, viewers. This is SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie from Clinton. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. And as usual, we have a full newscast for you, so let's get started. In our first story, Prime Minister of St. Martin, the Honorable Sylvania Jacobs, addressing the issue of the plastic bags from a reporter at the Council of Ministers weekly press briefing on Wednesday, says that she will be pushing for the campaign to start in collaboration with our partners on North St. Martin.
I'd also like to commend the BUC department and specifically Senior Policy Advisor, Ms. Nikema Hickinson of the Department of Interior and Kingdom Relations, also known as BUC. Congratulate her on them and her specifically on the opportunity to share the many activities derived from the single-use plastic pilot project in 2019, which she shared with the Territorial Councillor, Madame Pascal Alix-Laborde, and they were able to share upcoming plans for collaboration with our partners in the French collectivité. This will be solidified in a memorandum of understanding, which will be drafted in the coming days. There were many plans in place to initiate the start of our Plastic Free by 2023 campaign, which would have started during the carnival season, when we know there's a lot of single-use plastic that is added to our waste and which we would have wanted to reduce. We will be pushing for that campaign to start in collaboration now with our partners on North St. Martin. So congratulations, and I look forward to the public activities which will be publicized in the coming days and weeks. And as Government of St. Martin, we invite everyone to participate so that St. Martin indeed will be plastic free by 2023.
And also at the Council of Ministers weekly press briefing on Wednesday last, Minister of Justice, the Honorable Anna Richardson, addressing the policy for driving on the boardwalk, the Justice Minister says that it is a collaborative effort and she has had challenges with tow companies. She does not want to rush into doing something and have it have repercussions or an adverse effect. She wants to be able to take the proper steps, and when they put something in place, it will remain in place.
As I indicated in my opening statements as well, and you would recognize that it is an interministerial collaborative work effort that must take place between the ministries in order for this to be effective. We have had some challenges with tow companies, and those need to be regulated correctly. As you know, I like to do things within the law and policy and ensure that whatever steps and measures we're taking are going to be effective and we will not have any repercussions for our actions. So with that said, without even the incident happening this weekend, we have been working towards it. It has been quite a slow process because all ministries do have extensive list of priorities that they are taking care of. Nevertheless, we also have to look at the adults, the motorists. There has to be some responsibility held there as well, where the motorists are doing what they know is right and what they know is wrong. Nevertheless, it's a point where barricades have to be placed now on the boardwalk or between the entrance of Front Street going on to the boardwalk. We have to literally barricade that. We have to ensure that where there is not proper signage indicating that it is a violation to access or to park are in place, because someone can always want to fight the case that it's not there, even if they know that the situation is wrong. So as opposed to just rushing into doing something and then having repercussions or an adverse effect, we want to be able to take the proper steps to make sure that when we put things in place, they will remain in place and that the public will be able to understand that we mean business with it. So I am not particularly happy about the fact that it has taken this long, but as I said, the objective here is to ensure that all the ministries work in sync with each other, support one another, and that we can effectively make a difference here. But again, I'll say this, I'm hoping that motorists, being adults, will not let it resort to that the government has to take such stringent actions, but just to know within yourself that your actions are not correct ones and they are violating not just the ability for persons to walk comfortably, but you are putting pedestrians at risk. And in this case, a little child. So I hope that answers your question, but as I said in my opening statement as well, within the coming days, you're going to see some aggressive approach by at least the Ministry of Justice on this matter.
And in news out of the island of St. Eustatius, in front of several family members, friends, and supporters, the installation ceremony of the new Island Council of St. Eustatius took place on Thursday morning. Taking the oath were Island Council members Richelieu Leerdam, Ruben Merkman, and Clyde van Putten of the Progressive Labour Party, the PLP, and Adelka Spanner and Nicholas Snake of the Station Democratic Party, DP. Administering the oath was the Government Commission on St. Eustatius, Marnix van Rij. The swearing-in ceremony took place 8 days following the Island Council elections on that island. And we will have more of the speeches and the swearing-in ceremony in tomorrow's edition of SXM Daily News. And still to come, President of WIFO not happy with the state of affairs at the island hotels. We'll have the details to that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie van Putten. In other news for you at this time, Member of Parliament for the UP, the Honorable Grisha Heiliger Martin, has issued stern messages to the ministers of VSA, Finance, and Tourism regarding several issues. To the Minister of Tayat, the Member of Parliament applauded her beautiful plan, but wants to know what is going to happen in the short term. The Member of Parliament is asking who has the solutions right now, and although she applauds the Minister for the game plan, she wants to be realistic. To the Minister of Finance, the Member of Parliament wants a chronological breakdown of what really went down with the 75 million guilder bond from the central bank that forced him to cancel the bond. And to the Minister of VSA, she wants him to open up, as several months ago, he was shutting everything down.
Let's be realistic. Before I make my statement, I would like to first and foremost congratulate our Minister of TIAT on an extensive presentation. It was detailed. It makes me hopeful that in the near future, we have something to look forward to. But I'm here listening to my colleagues, all of them saying, what's the short-term solution? St. Martin has went from a $2 billion economy where 2 million visitors was visiting us yearly to nada. So where are we going to squeeze this little blood of money to come up with short-term solutions? Who has the Who has those solutions right now, short term? From with what? Out of what? Important is that we have a vision, and without a vision, we are lost. And I applaud the minister for that vision, for having a plan, a game plan, a five-step approach to proper planning prevents poor performance. I applaud you for that, and I'm hopeful. That's important. Secondly, my next question, that's just a statement I have for the Minister of TIAD. For the Minister of Finance, I want you to please give us a chronological breakdown of what really went down with that bond. I know you had a plan in place, and I know you had everything in place, but something happened. What happened and what set your plan completely off course, forcing you, not something that you wanted to do, forcing you to cancel that bond? And my question to you is this: does our Dutch partners have St. Martin at heart? Are they working with you, Minister? Are they really working with you? Do they want the best for our people? Our people are suffering. You want to know what the short-term goal was? That was the short-term right there, that bond. So Minister of Finance, explain it to us, chronologically detailing every step. What went wrong? Because you were very positive last week, and something went wrong in between that forced you to cancel that bond. And I want you to explain that to the people of St. Martin. Minister Vyasa, to you, my question to you is, open up, open up. A couple months ago, we had lock it down. We need to lock it down, shut it down, because health comes first. Now everybody wants to open up. Yes, I agree. We need to open up, but open up responsibly. My MP, Artley there, my pal, yes, you were right. You're right, and I can't wait to see that motion. You were right. That's part of being responsible. Let's tune into that. I wanted to just put my name down because next week, a couple of days from now, when they come with the answers, I want to be on the speakers list to respond to your questions and your statements from all three ministers.
And in more news for you at this time, the Minister of Finance, the Honorable Artwell Idion, fielding a question from a member of the media about the Minister of TIAD's plan on tax abolishment and how soon does he plan to implement the tax abolishment, among others. The minister says that although it does fall under his portfolio, the most important part of tax legislation is to keep it simple.
Yes, tax does fall under the Ministry of Finance, and the Minister of TIAD clearly indicated that what she brought was her big idea, right, which she did brought to the ministry. She also knows that the ministry already was involved with tax legislation. Was make sure that if it was possible that we also look into this area of the transaction tax. She also indicated that she would like that in the future, the possibilities of being able to abolish or get away from income and income tax and wage tax. And I believe that she didn't give a timeline, but she said this is an area she would love to go to in terms of innovation and so forth. But obviously, if you remove one of your biggest taxes, you have to replace it with something else. But I think the most important part in regards to tax legislation is to keep it simple. And I think that's the big idea of how do we make taxes less complicated, make it simple, and make sure that everyone is contributing fairly.
And in other news, President of WIFO, Theophilus Thompson, is not very happy with the state of affairs with hotels on the island wanting to terminate their workers. Mr. Thompson says that hotels are not following legal procedures to dismiss workers, but the employees' rights must be adhered to. And if any company wants to terminate an employee, then they must follow the legal procedure.
We have a situation with Mr. Johnson and Planet Hollywood. Now, today, we read in the newspaper that a court case that was pending has now been postponed or adjourned. We represent the workers who used to work for Great Bay Beach hotel and casino. We don't know who this person is who want to block the progress of employment and block the progress of a tremendous economic stimulus to the island. The other company we have a problem with is Puerto Copacabana, where employees from that company are told to go home or stay home. They are refusing to follow the proper legal procedure. If any company wants to terminate an employee, they must follow the legal procedure. They must get permission via making a request to the labor office. And there's a time period in which is allotted to a company making a request. And it is in the competence and authority of the Labor Department to grant or deny permission. But the employee's rights must be adhered to, must be protected. And we're here doing that. We also have companies that received what you call salary support. And that is, from our definition, from our interpretation, is that when you get support, it means that you must pay the employees their full salary and their correct salary that they agree to with the employer. If government make a decision to support the employer, to subsidize that portion which they claim to be lacking because of no business, then that's fine. But the employees must receive what is due to them based on an agreement between themselves and the employer. There's no other entity can deviate from that agreement.
Now, turning to our weather forecast for October the 29th, 2020, the interaction of a tropical wave and an upper-level trough is producing cloudiness and moderate to heavy showers across the region. Persons in flood-prone areas should remain vigilant as additional showers could result in localized flooding. Thereafter, an influx of Saharan dust is expected from tomorrow. This will aid in restricting precipitation across the local area. However, persons with respiratory illnesses and/or allergies should take the necessary precautions. Marine conditions continue to be rough. Small craft operators and sea bathers should continue exercising caution. Above normal sea conditions are predicted to prevail for the next several days. So the outlook through Saturday midday, partly cloudy and breezy with isolated showers. Now let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, 13 new confirmed COVID-19 cases on St. Martin. We'll have the detail to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
The innovative Banco-Matico contactless smart card. Your Banco-Matico smart card is now equipped with a contactless feature for payments, so get ready to tap and go. Contactless payments are fast, easy, secure, and accepted worldwide at all Maestro-enabled contactless terminals. Tap for transactions equivalent to or less than 100 NAF, or the US dollar equivalent. You will receive notifications via email anytime you tap. Tap, tap, and pay fast. Fast with WIB. For more information, visit our website at wib-bank.net. Tap and go with your partner in progress.
Welcome back, viewers. This is SXM Daily News. And as we continue now with more news, a member of the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform, Dr. Anders Remer-Gisseroen, in addressing the ongoing glucose meters issue for seniors, says that their lawyer is preparing a court case and anyone having complaints about the meters is advised to contact the consumer's lawyer, Mr. Cord Merks, or anyone from the Consumers Coalition.
ZV informs consumers' lawyer that there is nothing wrong with glucose meters. This week, After weeks of correspondence between consumers lawyer Mr. Cormerks, SZV, the Inspectorate of Public Health, and the Minister of VSA, the director of SZV in a letter to Mr. Merks informed him that SZV is of the opinion that there is nothing wrong with the glucose meters provided by Medicosmetics. The SZV director said that SZV has received only a few persons who complained about the glucose meters. Everybody who has complaints about the glucose meters, therefore, is hereby advised to contact consumers lawyer Cormerks or one of us of the Consumers Coalition. Lawyer Merks is preparing a court case, and all persons with complaints can be represented.
And as we continue now with news out of France, France announces a second lockdown. French President Emmanuel Macron has announced new lockdown measures for France as there were more than 36,000 new cases reported in the past 24 hours. France will enter a new coronavirus lockdown on Friday until at least the 1st of December 2020. French President Macron announced the new restrictions in a speech from the Élysée Palace after an emergency meeting. It came shortly after neighboring Germany announced a new lockdown. So the new restrictions for France are that people can only leave home to go to work, go to school, for a medical appointment, to give assistance to loved ones, for essential shopping, or for 1 hour of physical exercise. People will need to show documentation when leaving the house. Traveling between regions is banned. Bars, restaurants, and non-essential businesses will be closed. Work must be done remotely wherever possible. Universities and higher education will most likely be taught online. International borders will remain largely closed, and what is allowed in France will be schools will remain open, essential businesses will remain open, most public services will remain open. Factories, farms, and construction sites can continue work. The European borders will remain open. French citizens can return from overseas. Retirement homes can accept visitors. Funerals are still possible. The rules apply to all of France, but there will be an exception for the upcoming All Saints holiday weekend. Authorities will reassess the situation in 15 days. French Prime Minister Jean Castex will announce further details on Thursday, just before the lockdown goes into effect. Macron said that there would be widespread economic support for people and businesses affected by the lockdown. Small businesses will have access to 10,000 euros or $11,700 per month in assistance. Employees will continue to receive short-term work assistance, and people who have trouble paying rent will receive assistance as well. Macron said that the new lockdown was urgent due to the risk of hospitals being overwhelmed. If we do not take actions now, then our hospitals will be overwhelmed. And this time around, we will not be able to transfer patients to other regions because the virus is everywhere, Macron said. It is my responsibility to protect all French citizens, the release reads in part. And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News, back on the island of St. Martin, as of October the 28th, there were 13 persons who tested positive for COVID-19. However, there was a recovery rate of 10 persons, bringing the active cases to 59. The total number of confirmed cases is now 805. The Collective Prevention Services, CPS, are monitoring 52 people in home isolation. 6 patients remain hospitalized at the St. Martin Medical Center, and 1 patient is isolated and being monitored. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 remains at 22. The number of people recovered since the first case surfaced on St. Martin has increased to 724. 105 people are in quarantine based on contact tracing investigations carried out by the CPS of persons who may have been in contact with any of the active cases. CPS has tested 1,194 travelers arriving at the Princess Juliana International Airport and 5,582 people throughout the community. As the numbers continue to fluctuate here on the island, CPS will continue to actively execute its contact tracing measures. Minister Panafleck expressed that in order to flatten the curve and reduce the spread of the virus, we must continue to wear our masks in public, we must continue to practice the 2-meter social distancing, and sanitize and wash our hands frequently, and we must refrain from mass gatherings. And with that, viewers, it brings us to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening. I am Valerie Van Putten, and just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you so much for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.